I guess we're calling this the autopsy, trying to figure out what the hell happened last night on Monday Night Football between the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. Burgundy and Bold, Lynnell Willingham, Rick Doc Walker, youngest in charge of DOC. Trying to make sense of what happened last night. First and foremost, Doc, start every episode, we got to do some housekeeping just to get all our business affairs out of the way. Want to send a thank you on behalf of me and Doc for all of you that joined us in the live stream last night. Really, really fun opportunity for me. And I never, me and Doc give each other a hard time very often. Doc has been tremendous to me since I've cracked into this thing. And I will say, definitely, if you would have asked me 5 years ago, that I think I'd be watching an entire football game with one of the dudes I grew up idolizing and listening to, you'd be a damn fool. So, Doc, I appreciate you doing that with me last night, man. Hopefully, we can do it more. I appreciate everybody joining
I
us
hope
too, man. We
not.
had a good time.
Yeah, the people were great, but shit, my idea
Yeah, you know what,
of
man?
fun is not sitting in a room with you watching a football game, watching you screaming and hollering and throwing things across the floor. But no, it's you know what, ball is ball,
Yeah.
and I'd rather be on the sidelines at the stadium feeling all of it, but I'm not. And so this the next best thing is to be with our own selective group. You choose to come in here. Nobody forces you to do this. So that means you're attracted to straight out ball. And we're in the minority because most of it's BS that's out there now.
Yeah.
Most people don't even care who wins the game because they
Yeah.
have an interest in this particular player
Right.
or odds. And I ain't mad at none of that. Y'all do you. But there still is a lane for the savage at heart that really just want to kick somebody's behind and be good at something and have some pride and not just be worried about what uniform we're wearing, but the uniform that we wear that's based on burgundy and gold. And the fan base is coming back. I can feel it. You can feel that we're kind of out of the curse is over. But now I don't want to just be a team. I want to be the team. And we just got to get through the growing pains on it because not everybody gets it. We don't have the best roster in the NFL, in case you didn't notice that. We don't. So what are we going to do about it and find alternative ways to get the job done?
I think it's well put on your behalf. Talking to my Eagle friends, my best friend's an Eagles fan, Doc, who FaceTimed us last night while we were watching the stream. He was
Yeah.
telling me some real stuff. We got to learn, and this is a disclaimer for all of us out there, and I guess this may be for you too. We got to learn how to lose, man. I'm already seeing the afternoon after people on social media, Doc, talking about the season's over, talking about
Yeah.
this, talking about that, talking about firing coaches and whatnot. And Doc, for me to be coming with that approach, knowing my reputation that I've earned in my short
I
time,
don't believe it. I don't
I
believe it.
mean, seriously though, Doc, I'm honestly
You're just not on
disappointed.
the air. If you were on the air
If I,
today, you go off.
oh my
You're
God,
just not on that. You're just not over the air.
yeah,
This
but
is a
but
this is a
seriously though,
cult. This is a membership thing here.
yeah,
You
but
know, you're invited into this. You choose to come into this, and so this is what makes this different.
yeah,
Because the people that don't feel it and don't understand it, if you ain't never had your ass kicked, you ain't gonna be in here with us.
well, point blank,
Because the non-participants,
yeah,
they don't.
they
And
don't understand the
I'm
dynamic
not
of
mad.
it,
They don't understand, and why should they?
yeah,
That's no different than somebody's frat or whatever. They didn't pledge it. They don't know.
yeah.
And that's okay. I don't have to be involved in everything with everybody. You said winning. To me, is nothing but winning. You're the futurist. You're worried about when Terry comes back and all. I don't get. I need the 12 we putting out there, 11 on one, 11 on the other, and the kicker. And let's roll, and we'll see what happens. And we just didn't play our cards right. We had every opportunity. But you can't win if you can't tackle. If you can't block and tackle,
Well, that was the most
it's
probably
hard. It's
fundamentally
hard.
disappointing thing about
Mhm.
last night was a lack of tackling, especially when you have these slogans that you got all over your building about
Oh, you love
toughness
that.
and BMF
Yeah,
and
yeah.
anybody,
Mhm.
anywhere, anytime. It's
Uh-huh.
hard for me to buy into that and to believe that that's who you are when in three out of your first six games defensively you have looked like you do not belong as a professional unit. And what was most disheartening about last night, Doc, all year long we have been praising this Commanders' run defense. I don't even think if you're a host out there or a podcaster or whatever, gambler, fantasy artist, whatever you want to call it, and you predicted and even talked about Chicago's running game heading into this one, you're a liar. I don't believe you. It was the least of my concerns. And they came out and got flat out butchered up front. And I'm in the process of watching the game back. It's the entire front seven, Doc. We got dudes getting reach blocked, getting pushed into the lane of the linebacker. We got linebackers picking wrong gaps. We got safeties. Doc, I don't want to call anybody out by name, man, but like, it's just frustrating, man. You just want to have, you just hope that you're a smarter football team than that when you have an extra day to prepare and you see guys, the eye discipline once again being a problem. I actually thought the secondary, Doc, covered pretty well for the majority of the night. But you know this about football. When you allow a team to establish themselves on the ground, as a defensive lineman, as a linebacker, as a member of that front seven, you're now playing on roller skates and you don't know where you're going. You're not confident in anything you're doing. It stops your ability to play fast. Even a guy like Bobby Wagner, who we know has been around the block, first ballot gold jacket guy. Even he had looks of confusion last night when going up against the Chicago rushing attack because guys are getting pushed in his lap. I just thought, like you said, the tackling was atrocious. It was a poor defensive effort, and I'm tired. I know Jaden had the two. I know the offense had the three turnovers rather, but they still were in position to win this football game, man. If the defense doesn't have an embarrassing finish to this football game, man, you had Chicago in a position when you turned it over. It was supposed to be a 50-plus-yard field goal. It ends up being a damn chip shot, all because we can't tackle. This I don't want to hear the next. I swear to God, if they don't play these guys in the preseason next year, I'm gonna have something to say immediately. And you guys are gonna say, "Oh, you're just overreacting. You're doing this. You're doing that." It shows. It's the second week of October, and we're tackling like it's July, Doc.
Conscious effort. I mean, it's not a sport. It's like NASCAR. You can't get into this sport where all you're trying to do is protect the people playing it from injury. It's going to happen. You just got to develop that callus. We got to get the next person ready to go. You anticipate losing people. I don't know why we act so stunned. It's Quinn, Kingsbury, and Witt Jr. That's the head of the snake. Figure it out. To my problem with it, because to me, this is just normal ball. You either win, opponent, you outflank him, he outflanks you, they won the game. Now, either way you want to say it, Chicago won the game. Now, live with that all week. Live with the fact that you couldn't beat the Bears. And then again, you hadn't beaten them last year but for one play. So let's not act like we were up 30-0. The Bears have been in your britches the whole time. And this time you weren't good. You're just not good enough to put them away. You want to talk about them in a certain way. You're not good enough to do that. You don't block well enough. You don't tackle well enough. And you're not smart enough to do it. If you were, you'd have done it. And if your idea of being a success is a Hail Mary, come on. How many playoffs are you going to win doing that? You know it, and I know it.
Yeah.
How about getting your britches together and being fundamentally sound? And for God's sakes, if you're the oldest team on the planet, how about trying to work in more youth?
Yeah.
And if they can't play, that's your fault because you kept them.
You drafted them. You picked them.
Yeah, you
this
drafted.
roster has been turned over twice now.
They're your people. Granted, you inherited hell. You had nothing. But in one way, you can say, okay, this is you. You brought them all in. That's right. That's right. Stop telling me people aren't ready by not playing them. Because now I'm going to say, hey, man, we've been doing this for 5 or 6 weeks. They can't get 2 or 3 plays.
Jordan McGee, 1 defensive snap last night, I believe, Doc.
Yeah, well, he got his name mentioned.
In a game which they're getting gashed in the run game, Doc. You don't think a third linebacker would have helped your problems?
I don't know. It's not my job. My job is to evaluate them.
I wanted to ask you this, too. Mm-hmm. This is one of my bigger question marks from last night. Eddie Goldman was a late add to the injury report because he was sick. DC native, good dude.
Yeah. Hmm.
Been a reserve defensive tackle for this team. PFF's got him as one of the top 10 highest graded run defenders at the D tackle position. So, although he's not a household name and he's not playing a bunch
He's
of
a
snaps,
grinder. He's a
he's
grinder. That
playing and
helped. That
he
hurt him.
matters
Yeah.
to them. But
Yeah.
Doc,
They could have used him.
but this is my thing, Doc. You got Sheldon Day and whatever other D tackle they have on this practice squad. If you knew Eddie Goldman is going to be out, Doc, why the hell are we calling up two wide receivers off the practice squad? Call up his replacement. They're so infatuated with putting defensive ends at defensive tackle. Jalen Holmes can barely play defensive end. Why do you think he's going to be able to hold the point of attack as a defensive tackle? He's not big enough. You got blown off the football all night long last night. And the frustrating thing about it is we were saying it right off the rip, Doc. All right, that's too much. And this was only on a 4 or 5 yard run, but it's your fellow Bruin, Doc, describes it perfectly. I love the way Logan Paulson puts this. It's death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Yeah.
When you're giving up 5 and 6 and 8 and 9 and 7, his longest run last night, Doc, was 19 yards. Talking about Swift.
It's a big
19
run.
yards.
Yeah, it's a big run.
So it's just frustrating because with that offense, everything else became easier for them once they knew that Washington was off kilter in terms of pass versus run. And we talked about it all week leading up to this game. Making Chicago one dimensional was the key because you'd be able to, it would give you your best shot to get after Caleb. And I thought they actually did a decent job getting after him on the night. But when you can't stop the
Hmm.
run, when you're getting beat up front on both sides of the line of scrimmage, because we'll get to the offense in a second, when you're getting beat up on both sides of the line of scrimmage, you're not gonna win the football game. It's point blank. We can cut the tape here.
Yeah, and it was still close.
And it was still you lost on the last second play with 3 turnovers and you got dominated and punched in the mouth up front.
Yeah.
So
But every team's not going to be the Bears.
right.
That's your problem.
In terms of letting you
Yeah,
survive and
yeah,
have
yeah,
life after those
exactly. You
mistakes.
should have been dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have been dead. And maybe you need to be beaten 48-0 to get the message. Maybe being close, you don't see it right. Maybe they're telling you the right thing, but maybe they're not listening. I don't know. I don't know. It's so easy. Just judge the results. Or for like you young people, guys like yourself and your clan, you can imagine what it's going to be like on the last week of the season. You can go all the way to December and act like you're not paying attention to what you see now. You're
Well,
not going to be anywhere near it in December
if
if
at
you
this
don't get
rate,
your
if
act
if
together.
if you don't get off of this roller coaster that they're on, you're not December's not gonna matter.
Right.
And last year, Doc, and I hate to be selfish for a second, as a 27-year-old fan, it was so refreshing playing
Hmm.
meaningful football all year long. We've
I
been doing this
understand.
for a little while now. You obviously much longer than myself, but like we've seen even me have seen our fair share of Novembers that don't matter, Doc. November if you're out of the race before Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
like that's the way this looks. When you look at this upcoming schedule, you've got Seattle, a team. What they're going to do, Doc? They're going to run first. They're going to try to punch you in the mouth up front. You got Detroit. They're going to try to punch you in the mouth up front and run it right at you. My my concern about this group is: are we going to be able to win the battle in the interior moving forward? Because even coming up this Sunday on a short week against Dallas, how the hell are we supposed to stop Dallas? If we couldn't, if we let Chicago run right down our throat, what do you think Dallas is going to do with a quarterback in Dak Prescott that's playing as good football as anybody right now? That's my frustration. Is it doesn't feel like there's any end in sight. I think the the most frustrating part I would say about the defensive performance yesterday is the fact that you reverted back to your old stuff. This was a last year problem, stopping the run. Even in your losses to start the year, Doc, they've been pretty good on the ground, stopping the run game. So for that to just dissipate and evaporate in a big spot like that at home, I look at it deeper than what it is on its surface because I've wore a helmet and shoulder pads before. Environment matters, Doc. How the hell you let a team? It looks worse to have that type of defensive performance at home because it's like, damn, does our crowd suck? Does our crowd not get you guys hype and ready to go? Dudes are getting pushed 3 and 4 yards off the ball as a defensive tackle. You should be tapping yourself on the head, telling somebody to come get you. If that's the type of, I mean, it's just frustrating, man. The defense is what killed me. We'll wrap up with the offense, but let's wrap up the defense with your thoughts, Doc. Just overall, I guess I'll ask you a question here. Play a little
All
point
right.
guard. Do you trust this defense right now at this point in time, and what do they have to do to earn your trust?
They got to be more aggressive in sending people. They're counting on things that their players used to be very good at. I want an appraisal of this current group in its real time
Yeah.
state. And that would tell me I want to rush the quarterback. I don't want Wag sitting. I want him in aggressively moving forward the whole time. Luvu, send them. If you're a tag dog, then let's run and go get after people. Because when we are sitting stationary, we're getting mutilated.
Yeah.
And people just running by us. So let's go knock them and hang them out to dry. Whatever it is, as long as we're initiating the pressure, I like it. I don't like it when we're catching. People catch blocking. No, we need to be running through people
Mm.
in an aggressive state. And I'd love to see some of these young kids actually get some reps. All I heard about during camp, McDonald is, are they going to ever play? And what's taking it so long? Are they not able to learn what's going on? Well, then you pick bad apples. Or no, or is it you? What is it? What is it? When are we going to put people in the game and start getting them some experience?
Yeah. That's the frustrating part about all of this, and I think that's what hurts Doc is everything that they preach in that building is about toughness and resilience and being a badass. You can't call yourself that. You let Chicago come in here and punch you in your mouth. The best way that I can describe it, DOC. It's like letting somebody in your house. They put your kids to sleep. They drink your liquor. They smack your wife on the ass. They watching
Mm-hmm.
their TV shows. They wearing your robe. It was, and I know what people are going to say. We only lost by 1 point. It didn't feel like we were ever in control of this football game. Even when you had the defensive stop where Frankie Louvu gets the turnover on down, you just never felt like you were in control. I want to go to the
No.
offensive side to wrap up, Doc. I know we're getting short
Yeah.
on time here.
Yeah.
Um, Offensively, this was the first time really all year that I just didn't think you got the push in the run game. I just didn't think this group was getting pushed. Thought Chicago did a really good job on the interior. Andrew Billings and company, Javon Dexter, dudes were getting upfield, penetrating, and Bill was having to make dudes miss before he even got to the line of scrimmage. And we talk about this stat all the time. Heading into last night or Monday night, Washington was fourth in the NFL in terms of rushing yards before contact, meaning they were blowing people off the football. You just did not see that last night. I also thought, and we'll get back to the running game, but the running game to me, the big problem is you didn't get the push. I thought Cliff was patient with it, um, as patient as he could be when you think about the lack of results that you were getting. But you had some untimely penalties. You had some situations that put you behind the sticks. Jaden has the intentional grounding. Now you're losing a down and 10, 15 yards. I'll take it. I'll put it like this when it comes to the offense. When you're down Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown, your best player can't make the critical mistakes. And I think Jaden Daniels had some critical mistakes yesterday. The two turnovers are what's going to stick out, but he had some misses on some of these scrambles. He had guys open and he didn't have his head up and wasn't looking downfield. I'm not too worried about him though, man. He is first of all, the fact that he took full accountability the way he did, I loved it. He just it's just gonna be hard to win. Last year he was your Superman. He was your cape. He was everything for you. When he has a game like last night, and I know what people are gonna say, well, if you take the two turnovers away, he played pretty good. Football doesn't work that way. Those plays happened. There were consequences to those plays. And it ultimately ended up in your demise and why you lost. big picture, I'm not worried about the quarterback. I think he'll get it together. I think it was just one uncharacteristic. He did have some big time throws, but obviously the two mistakes kind of skew the grade here a little bit. But your thoughts on the offense overall?
Didn't get the job done. This is not a fashion show. You don't get points just because you look good. You got to score. We left points on the deck. We didn't get the job done. We never established the run in a way that forced them to alter what they wanted to do defensively. We weren't patient, and we didn't execute up to our ability. And then the Bears played well.
They did.
They made some plays, and that's well. It's great, and it's really King Kong. Big Bird should be able to beat King Kong. It should be not a shocker, because that's what this league is. And we were at home. We had everything going for us. You had all the atmosphere, and you didn't get the job done. That's the disappointing part.
As far as the offense goes, your thoughts on the way the offensive line played last night?
I was disappointed. I mean, either we didn't give Quinn a reason to trust it, to stay with it, or he got away from it. Either way, we didn't get the job done. He started off so well. I see big people across the board, and then we kind of came off of it. So if you can't do it against the Bears, then I can't brag on you. I just have to hope that it was a fluke.
You know this as well as anybody, though. On this, you're 3-3. All your goals for the season are still very much within reach. Everything's in front of you. How are you going to respond? And this is what I do know about this group. This is what gives me a little bit of confidence heading into Sunday against Dallas, Doc. Every time they've lost this year, they followed it up with a W. They have responded to getting punched in the face. At least we know they've got a pulse. They've gotten punched in the face a couple different times this year. They've responded every time. I expect them to respond again Sunday in Dallas.
I just hope they have a response to tradition, and that it still means something, that it's Dallas week.
Strong words. All right, that's going to do it. Appreciate you all joining us for our recap of Commanders and Bears from last night. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. We appreciate you all.
Tell your family. Tell your cousins. Baby, Junebug. Get all of them. Big Tony. Get all of them in there. What the hell y'all waiting on? Let's roll.
It's free. It's free.
Right. It's your favorite language. Lynnell, I'm tired of talking, man. I got to go.
Let's do it.